Welcome Jamie Griffin, who is the spokesman for Progress Is. Jamie?
First of all, thank you for the distinguished opportunity to join you today. It is absolutely my pleasure to be here. As Gina introduced me, my name is Jamie Griffin. I'm a young leader with a group called Progress Is, which is a community movement that really organized and galvanized after the 2008 elections. There was a number of folks who walked around deeply optimistic that we would walk away from the 2000 election and pursue a path of bold vision and progress, in our word. Optimistic about local elections, which we had participated in. And when we looked back, we said, why is it that we lost this election by such a small margin? And when you think back to those days, you remember Hurricane Gustav for a number of days, you think about all of the things we were working on local and national elections, and you realize that when you have a question before you, will I pull yes or no on a lever booth for a $901 million proposal? We all need access to a lot of great information. And so my group said, we will go out, we will stand for growing the parish forward, and we will work very hard to provide information to folks. And so I'm going to dedicate the bulk of my time to giving you some factual information about the bond and its projections. We are talking about a $901 million investment in ourselves to address capital improvements that have accumulated over 50 years. Some folks will say that this is no different than the last proposal. I will say to you, one, our needs have not changed. The prison doesn't fix itself, the juvenile system doesn't fix itself, one. Then I'd say second to you, this proposal is $90 million plus less than what you saw last year. And some people would say $90 million isn't a lot of money, and in my world, $90 million is not only 10% of the total package, but a lot of money. The CIP, the Capital Improvements Plan, tackles 8 projects to be completed in 7 years, many of which will not go away, as I already said. The new prison will stop $3 million of your dollars every year from going to other parishes around our community. 30 years times 3, $90 million. The drainage projects are going to bring $96 million in federal money to you. So this is a much bigger question of what our investment in ourselves will be. The light synchronization will touch 260 lights all around the parish, provide backup power for those lights. If you remember the days after Katrina and what our officers had to do during those days and what we had to face, not only is that nice, but the idea that 15% flow through will be added to our intersections puts money back in your pocket when you save on gas. The expansion of the River Center, and this is a compelling point that's probably more important to me than others, but the expansion of the River Center will take us from being behind Shreveport, Jackson, Mississippi, and Biloxi, behind. So our facilities are behind those cities. I would say to you that being behind Shreveport, when we have such a collection of assets in our community, including the state capitol, the old state capitol, and other attractions, is a major compelling point of why we need to invest in those projects. But finally, on a lot, let's talk about job creation. In this economy, the construction alone will generate 4,300 jobs based on Jim Richardson's, who's a state economist's projections, which were peer-reviewed by UNO. The long-term permanent jobs created by the economic and jobs portion of this project will yield, in 4 years alone, 10,000 permanent jobs on his projection, will yield 23,000 jobs in 11 years. Thanks for the correction, Mike. So let me ask this question. Are we willing to invest in ourselves to get a $2.4 billion return in economic impact in 10 years alone? And more to the point, are we willing to invest $19 a month on a median income, or a median income and family household, for this passage of this bond? You paid $20 or $25 for this lunch today. I'm not eating lunch today, and I invested $25 for what the league is doing. This is a question of value. This is not a question of, are there minutia items that give me some concern? This is a question of, do we want to invest in ourselves? Are we willing to pay the money to say we will stand up and say we should be responsible for our future and for the jobs? And will we stand up and say we believe in the bold vision and business plan that the mayor has put before the voters? And I would tell you, as a voter on this journey to find more information, what you're doing is key. And I will stay here until every question is answered, or we have inventoried every question you might want to answer. But please, I hope you join me on November 14th, or in early voting, to say, yes, we will invest in ourselves, and we will be bold, and we will move forward. Thank you.